Every real estate investor will eventually run into squatters and vandalism at one point in their career. I know I have. One of my houses recently was broken into over 10 times in a month, and I'm gonna share with you what I've learned to prepare you for the inevitable: break-ins, squatters, and vandalism. If you're new to the channel, my name's Justin Yarong. I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur here in Las Vegas. I've made hundreds of videos teaching people about real estate, money, and self-development, and the goal of this channel is to help you grow your money and your mindset. There are 3 main lessons I've learned about dealing with break-ins on my house flips. Lesson number 1, budget for squatters, especially if you're gonna be buying in a bad neighborhood. I used to not budget for any squatters, and it cost me a lot of money. For that house flip that I was telling you about that's been broken into over 10 times in a month, yeah, I paid a lot of extra money for that. This was a huge mistake that I've had to learn the hard way, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. So for this particular house flip, this was in the ghetto of Fresno, California, like probably one of the worst areas of Fresno. And I didn't budget for squatters because honestly, I didn't know I had to. I was brand new at the time doing one of my first flips, and I didn't have squatters on any of my other flips. And so I didn't expect to deal with squatters. Let me tell you the story behind this home. I had actually found this home on Tinder. I just so happened to meet a girl on there, and she just so happened to be a wholesaler who was new and had a deal locked up, and it ended up being an actual deal, and I ended up buying that from her, and that was this flip. So the purchase price on this home was $116,500. The rehab, I was projecting to spend about $30,000 on it, and I was planning to sell the home for about $200,000. So the projected net profit on this deal for me would have been $30,000. So I buy the home, and this was actually my first virtual purchase. So I was living in Las Vegas, and this home was bought in Fresno, California. I had my project manager to bring out contractors to get some bids on the property and see how much it would really take to fix up. And it was pretty much spot on with what I was expecting. And so we immediately start the renovation project. Everything was going pretty smooth for the most part until the renovation project ended. While the home was being renovated, there were really no issues with break-ins or anything like that because people were constantly going in and out of the home. But once all the renovations stopped, that's when we had problems. As soon as the home sat vacant for a week or so, maybe less than that, the first break-in occurred. Someone broke into the house, the alarm went off, and then we dispatched police to the home, and I expected that to be the end of it. But it wasn't the end of it. Over the course of 30 days, the home got broken into over 10 times, and they caused about $5,000 of damages total. And that's just from them breaking random things, like they broke some doors, some windows. They actually snipped the pipes underneath the kitchen sink, which was really weird because they did not steal anything. They also broke the electrical circuit and the breaker box, which I don't know why, because according to my contractors, they again did not steal anything. So they just broke stuff without stealing anything, which is very weird. And I was confused because I had thought these people were squatters. They just needed a place to live. And typically, well, I would assume the people that are breaking into homes to live in, they just need some water, electricity, and just a roof over their heads. I wouldn't really expect these people to break electrical and plumbing things if they needed those things. But anyways, they broke about $5,000 worth of items, and I had to get that fixed. And instead of profiting $30,000, I profited actually $20,000 because now I had to account for that $5,000 from all the damages. And I also had to deal with asbestos on the exterior of the home. And so there was asbestos all over, which is very toxic for people to breathe in. And so we had that all removed, and we replaced the exterior with stucco because it was pretty much falling off. And just because I had to deal with break-ins and squatters and extra damages, it doesn't turn me off from house flipping and investing in homes. It just means that now I have to budget for that stuff, especially if I know I'm gonna be buying in those bad neighborhoods. So if you're planning to buy any homes, especially if they're in bad neighborhoods, budget for break-ins and squatters when you're calculating your first offer. I promise you, it's gonna be worth it. Lesson number 2 is to get an alarm system. There was actually this one house flip of mine where the alarm system worked, and it worked for a long time. Every time someone broke into the home, I was alerted, the police were dispatched, and they cleared out the home. So it worked. But then there was this one particular time where my alarm system was stolen. I was actually shocked about this one. I remember getting a call from the alarm system. I told them to send the police out, and then I also sent my realtor out there to check up on the project. And he had called me, he was like, hey, there's no more alarm system here. And by that point, the home had been broken into so many times that I thought, you know what, I don't even want to add another one. So I just repaired whatever was broken, and then I still listed the home for sale on market. And yeah, there were more squatter issues during the escrow, which it was really hard to handle. We would board up all these windows and doors and any entrances, but they would still get in. They were like professional squatters or something with drills. And I'm telling this story because even though things happen and sometimes an alarm system might be stolen, it's well worth your time, I promise you. Just having an alarm system present, you will feel so much more peace of mind, and anytime someone does break into the home, you're gonna be alerted and you can send the police out to the home to take care of it. I also wanna talk about when you should get your alarm system. There are really only two options as far as when you can install the alarm system. One is before the renovation starts. So right when you buy the home, you can install an alarm system if you want, but then keep in mind, contractors will constantly be going in and out of the home and they'll have to click the alarm button on and off, and often they're forgetful and they won't do it. And the other option is to install the alarm system after the renovation is done so that there's not really a lot of people going in and out of the home and you don't get a lot of false alarms like if you did the first option. For my flips, I've always installed the alarm system after the renovation is done because I didn't want to get a bunch of calls as false alarms from the alarm company from the contractors all forgetting to enter the alarm. Lesson number 3 is to get a reliable project manager. The project manager can also be yourself, but you basically just need someone to be going to the house multiple times a week to check on the contractors and also to check on if anyone's been breaking in the home or living in the home. There was this one house flip of mine. I did have a project manager in place and that person checked out the property multiple times a week during the renovation project. She wanted to make sure that the contractors were doing their thing, actually working on the home, and I instructed her exactly what to do as far as how often she should be going to the home and everything else. But once the project ended, once the renovation stopped, I had failed to mention to her to keep on checking on the property multiple times a week, just like she was doing, just to make sure there are no squatters, the house isn't on fire, or anything else going on with the home that I should know about. And I really should have told her to keep checking on that home. That was a huge mistake of mine because for this home was also broken into so many times after the renovation had finished because I had failed to tell my project manager to stay on top of the home and keep checking it out. Now, if you're just starting out, you can also be the project manager. You can be the person checking out the home during the renovation, after the renovation. But what I'm saying is you need someone, whether it's you or someone else, that's reliable enough to consistently check on the home. It was a huge mistake of mine and I really don't want you to make the same mistake. By me failing to tell that project manager to continue checking on the property after the renovation project, I wasted an extra couple grand because of damages to the home because of break-ins and squatters. Don't make this same mistake, especially if I'm telling you exactly what to do. Understand that squatters and vandalism, it's part of the house flipping game, and you have to prepare for them, budget-wise and mentally. Also, if you want to grow your real estate business, whether you're brand new or if you already have deals under your belt, DM me the word coach on Instagram at JustinYou'reWrong. I'll see you at the next one.